A Japanese study put people in sensory deprivation tanks for 6 hours. No light, no sound, no input of any kind. They emerged more exhausted than when they went in. Rest didn't restore them. Silence broke them. A NASA study found that a 26-minute nap increased pilot performance by 34%. The pilots slept less than half an hour. They outperformed colleagues who slept a full 8 hours the night before. Duration wasn't the variable. Something else entirely was. In 2011, Roy Baumeister at Florida State tracked 5,000 daily decisions across thousands of people. He found that by 4 p.m., decision quality had collapsed. Not because people were tired, not because they hadn't slept enough, because deciding, any decision at all, burns a real, finite neural resource, and nobody told you that resource exists. You sleep 8 hours and wake up destroyed. You take a nap and feel worse. You do nothing all weekend and Monday hits like a wall. The problem is not your sleep. The problem is what your brain is doing while you think you're resting. Stay until the end. In about 16 minutes, I'm going to give you one sentence, one rule that neuroscientists use to protect their own cognitive energy. It takes 30 seconds to set up. You can do it tonight. Let me describe your day. Tell me if I'm wrong. You slept. Maybe 7 hours. Maybe 8. You wake up and the exhaustion is already there, before coffee, before your feet hit the floor. You think, I just need caffeine. So you make coffee. It helps. For about 45 minutes. You sit down to do something real, something that matters. 10 minutes in, you can't focus. Your brain feels like wet concrete. You check your phone, not because you want to, because thinking hurts. By noon, you've made 40 decisions. What to wear, what to eat, whether to eat, how to reply to that text, which route to take, whether to stop for coffee. None of them felt big, but your brain treated every single one like a small emergency. 3 p.m., the wall. You know this wall. You've hit it every workday for years. You pour another coffee. You push through. By 7 p.m., you're home. You should do the thing, the workout, the call, the project. Instead, you sit on the couch and turn on Netflix, not because you want to watch it, because your brain has nothing left, and you don't know why. You go to bed at 10. You sleep 8 hours. You wake up and the exhaustion is already there, and you think, something is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with you. Your brain is working exactly as designed. The problem is what it's being asked to carry, and once you see what's actually happening inside it, you will never look at your tiredness the same way again. Here's the belief you hold as absolute fact. You're tired because you worked hard today. Wrong. You're tired because you decided. Dr. Roy Baumeister at Florida State University spent 20 years studying what he called ego depletion. His core finding, willpower and decision-making run on the same finite fuel. Every choice you make, regardless of how small, draws from the same neural account. And that account does not refill during the day. He tracked Israeli judges making parole decisions across full-court days. At 9 a.m., favorable rulings 65% of the time. By late afternoon, same crimes, same evidence. The approval rate dropped to nearly 0. The judges weren't becoming cruel, they were becoming depleted. When the brain runs low on decision fuel, it defaults to the safest, most automatic answer. For a judge, that's denial. For you, that's the couch. Now count your decisions before 9 a.m. Alarm, snooze or get up. Shower now or later. What to wear. What to eat. Whether to eat. How to respond to that text. Which route to take. Whether to stop for coffee. Baumeister's team counted an average of 226 decisions before most people reach their desk. 226 draws from a tank that was already half empty from yesterday. Because here's what nobody tells you. Sleep refills the tank, but it doesn't refill it completely. Chronic depletion accumulates across days, weeks, months. That exhaustion you feel on Monday morning after a full weekend, that's not laziness. That's a debt your brain has been carrying since March. You believe Netflix is rest. Your brain disagrees completely. After work, you sit on the couch. You turn on a show. You stop moving. You stop producing. You call this rest. Dr. Mary Helen Immordino-Yang at USC spent years studying what happens in the brain during passive screen consumption. Her finding, the brain's default mode network, the system responsible for processing emotion, consolidating memory, and restoring executive function, is suppressed during screen time. Your brain cannot restore itself while watching TV. It can only restore itself when it has nothing to process. Not nothing, as in watching something slow. Nothing as in no screen, no input, no narrative to follow. The kind of nothing that feels uncomfortable, that makes you reach for your phone after 40 seconds. That exact discomfort, that itch you feel in the silence, is your default mode network trying to come online. And every time you kill it with content, you delay restoration by another hour. This is why you can spend an entire Sunday watching TV and wake up Monday more tired than Friday. You gave your body rest. You gave your brain 8 more hours of work. Netflix after work is not recovery. It's overtime with a better soundtrack. Drop guilty in the comments right now if your idea of rest involves a screen. I want to see that number. Because what actual rest looks like, it's not what anyone tells you. There's a second drain running underneath everything else. It never turns off. It's called cognitive load, and it's invisible. Dr. George Miller at Princeton established in 1956 that human working memory holds approximately 7 items at once. 7. That's it. That's your entire mental desktop. Now count what's running on that desktop right now. The email you haven't replied to, the conversation you need to have, the bill you keep meaning to pay, the thing your boss said that you're still processing, the plan you made and haven't started, the text in your drafts, the appointment you need to schedule. Every open loop in your life occupies a slot on your mental desktop, and it stays there, burning fuel until it's closed. Dr. Bluma Zygarnik demonstrated this in 1927. Waiters had perfect memory for orders not yet delivered. Completed orders disappeared from memory almost immediately. The brain keeps an active file for every unfinished task. That file consumes working memory constantly, not just when you think about it. Always. In the background, like 30 apps running on your phone that you forgot to close. The average American adult carries between 150 and 300 open loops at any given time. Work tasks, relationship obligations, financial concerns, personal goals, unread messages. You are not tired because you did too much today. You are tired because your brain is managing a project list the size of a small company, around the clock, including while you sleep. This is why you wake up exhausted even after 8 hours. Your brain was working all night, not on dreams, on your inbox. Think about the last meeting where something bothered you, and you smiled anyway. Think about the last call where you were already running empty, and you kept your voice warm. Think about the last time you got bad news at work, and you had to stay functional for 3 more hours. Your brain paid for every one of those moments, in full, in the same currency as every decision on this list. Sociologist Arlie Hochschild at UC Berkeley coined the term emotional labor in 1983. She was studying flight attendants. She found something nobody expected. The most depleting part of their job wasn't the physical work, it was the performance. the sustained management of their own emotional state to meet someone else's expectations, smiling when you're not happy, being patient when you're frustrated, staying calm when you're scared, being enthusiastic when you're empty. Every moment you perform an emotion you don't feel, you pay with real neural currency. Dr. James Gross at Stanford studied emotional suppression for 2 decades. His finding: suppressing an emotion doesn't reduce its intensity. It hides the output. The internal physiological response remains exactly the same, or gets stronger. Pretending to be fine is more exhausting than actually being fine, and it consumes the same cognitive resources as making a major decision. Count your emotional labor from today. The meeting where you stayed professional while something ate at you. The conversation where you listened patiently when you wanted to leave. The smile you gave when you got bad news. The tone you held on a call when you were already empty. None of that shows up on your calendar. None of it is counted as work. All of it cost you as much as the hardest task on your to-do list. This is why some days feel brutal, even though nothing happened. Something happened. You just weren't allowed to react to it, and your brain paid the full price anyway. There's one final mechanism. It multiplies everything else. Dr. Sophie Leroy at the University of Washington named it in 2009. Attention residue. Every time you switch from one task to another, even when you fully intend to focus on the new task, part of your attention stays behind on the previous one. That residue lingers. It occupies working memory. It degrades performance on everything that follows. You cannot fully arrive at the next thing until your brain has mentally closed the last thing. Leroy's study. Participants who switched tasks mid-flow showed significantly lower performance on the new task, not because of distraction, because cognitive resources were still allocated to the unfinished work. Count your task switches from today. Email to meeting, meeting to call, call to document, document to Slack, Slack back to email. Each switch left residue. Each piece of residue consumed working memory. By 3 p.m., you weren't switching between tasks. You were managing 20 simultaneous, partially active cognitive threads, and wondering why you couldn't think straight. Dr. Gloria Mark at UC Irvine found it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully return to deep focus after a single interruption. The average American worker is interrupted every 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Do that math. You never reach deep focus. Not once. On most days. Not because you lack discipline, because the system around you was designed without your brain in mind. One honest number in the comments right now. How many browser tabs do you have open? The real count, not the one you're comfortable with. I want to stop and tell you something I don't usually say. For most of last year, I thought I was getting sick. I was sleeping, eating right, working out consistently. And every single day I woke up feeling like something had hit me. I went to 3 doctors, full blood work, thyroid, cortisol, vitamin D, iron. Everything came back normal. The last doctor said, "You're probably just stressed," which told me nothing, and quietly made everything worse. So I started tracking my days differently. Not sleep hours, not steps. I tracked decisions, open loops, emotional performances, task switches. On a random Tuesday, I counted 47 open loops I was mentally carrying before 9 a.m. I counted 9 moments that morning where I performed an emotion I wasn't feeling. I counted switching between tasks 31 times in a 4-hour window. Each switch leaving residue. Each loop burning background memory. Each performance drawing from the same account as every real decision I needed to make. I wasn't sick. I was running a company inside my skull. All day, every day, with no accounting for any of it. What changed things wasn't a supplement. It wasn't a new sleep protocol. It was one rule, one sentence. And I'm going to give it to you right now. Here's what I need you to hear before the practical part. You have been told your exhaustion is a lifestyle problem. Sleep more. Meditate. Cut caffeine. Try magnesium. Take breaks. And you've tried some of those things. And they helped a little. And the wall came back anyway. Because the wall is not a sleep problem. It's a cognitive architecture problem. Your brain is running 4 simultaneous drain systems: decision fatigue, cognitive load, emotional labor, attention residue, in an environment that was designed without any of them in mind. The open plan office, the always-on Slack, the 47-tab browser, the calendar with 0 white space, the expectation that you respond immediately, that you're always available, that rest is laziness. You are not weak. You are a biological system being run at 140% capacity inside infrastructure built for a different century. The solution is not more discipline. Discipline is decision-making. And decision-making is exactly what you're running out of. The solution is reducing the number of decisions your brain has to make before the important ones arrive. Here's the rule. One sentence. Protect your first 2 hours. Spend them on your hardest work. Make 0 trivial decisions before them. That's the whole thing. Here's what it looks like. Step 1, tonight, not tomorrow. Choose tomorrow's outfit right now. Choose tomorrow's breakfast. Write down tomorrow's single most important task. One task, specific, on paper, before you close the laptop tonight. You are not organizing. You are pre-spending decision currency at full value, so your depleted morning brain doesn't have to. Every trivial decision you make tonight saves 3 minutes of cognitive fuel tomorrow morning. Multiply that by 30 decisions. You just bought yourself 90 minutes of clean thinking before 9 a.m. Step 2, the open loop audit. This one will feel strange. Get a physical piece of paper, not your phone, not a notes app, paper, and write down every open loop in your head. Everything you're carrying, work, personal, financial, relational, the thing you keep meaning to do, the conversation you keep postponing, the thing that wakes you up at 3 a.m. Don't organize it. Don't prioritize it. Don't make it a to-do list. Just get it out of your skull and onto the page. Dr. C.N. Bylock at the University of Chicago showed that this single act, writing out what you're carrying, measurably reduces cognitive load within 10 minutes. You are not making a plan. You are freeing RAM. The brain releases an open loop the moment it trusts the loop is stored somewhere else. Step 3. Redefine rest. This is the uncomfortable one. For the next 7 days, 1 hour per evening with no screen input. Not meditation with a guided app. Not a podcast about slowing down. Not lo-fi music while you scroll. Nothing. A walk without headphones. Sitting outside. Cooking with no background noise. Staring out the window. The discomfort you feel in the first 10 minutes. That itch. That restlessness. That urge to pick up your phone. That is your default mode network coming back online. That discomfort is not boredom. That discomfort is your brain beginning to restore itself. It just doesn't feel like restoration yet, because you've never let it get this far. Step 4. 2 minutes between everything. Between every task, every meeting, every call. 2 minutes. Not scrolling. Just sitting. Let the attention residue drain before the next thing begins. It will feel like wasting time. It is the opposite of wasting time. 2 minutes of nothing between tasks recovers more cognitive capacity than an hour of effort inside a depleted state. I want you to do the math with me. 226 decisions before 9 a.m. 150 to 300 open loops running in background memory, 9 emotional performances before noon, 31 task switches in 4 hours, each one leaving residue, 23 minutes of lost focus per interruption, 1 interruption every 3 minutes. That is what your brain is managing every single day. Before you do a single thing on your actual to-do list, no supplement fixes that. No sleep schedule repairs that. Because you wake up, check your phone, make 40 decisions before breakfast, open 30 loops before 9 a.m., and arrive at your desk already carrying a weight your doctor will never measure and your calendar will never show. The exhaustion is real. The cause has been invisible. Until right now. You were not built wrong. You don't need more sleep. You don't need more caffeine. You don't need to try harder. You need to stop spending your most valuable resource on problems that don't deserve it. Every trivial decision is a tax on your best thinking. Every open loop is a leak. Your brain is quietly patching all night. Every emotional performance without recovery is a withdrawal with no deposit. Every task switch without a pause is compound interest on depletion. You are not lazy. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are a Ferrari that's been running on the wrong fuel, in the wrong gear, with the parking brake half on, and nobody ever showed you the dashboard. Now you've seen the dashboard. Protect the first 2 hours. Close the open loops. Let the default mode network do its job. Give attention residue 2 minutes to drain. The exhaustion is not permanent. It's structural. And structure can be changed starting tonight. 1 piece of paper. Every open loop in your head. Out of your skull and onto the page. 10 minutes. That's the experiment. Try it tonight and tell me what happens. I want 1 number in the comments. How many open loops are you carrying right now, before you do the audit? Your honest estimate, not the number you wish it was. The real one. I'll read every single one. Always or never. Do you check your phone before you start the first real task of your day? Drop it below. Next week, scientists at MIT discovered that people who believe they have excellent memories actually remember significantly less than people who assume they'll forget. The reason is something your brain does automatically every time you take a photo, write a reminder, or open Google. It's called cognitive offloading, and it's quietly hollowing out your recall in ways you won't notice until the moment you need it most.